Hello everyone, welcome to the channel update for September. Hope everyone had a pretty good August. A couple things to talk about. Of course, we wrapped up in the past month or so What Remains of Edith Finch, The Dark Side Detective, and the Patreon reward for Ashley Firewatch. I very much enjoyed playing all three of those and got some good response for those. So I appreciate that you guys enjoyed them as well. Edith Finch and Firewatch, both really gorgeous games. I was really loved the environments, the environment design, I guess. Kind of want to say set design, but you know. If people have suggestions on similar games that they enjoyed, feel free to toss them my way. They make for nice, short games that I can insert in between longer games, so that works out pretty nicely. And of course, if there's something that you really want me to play, you can do like Ashley did and become a patron through Patreon, and I will then play a game that you wish that I play. If you support me at a high enough level. The Dark Side Detective, definitely going to be keeping an eye on that company. That kind of just popped up in my Steam, recommended list, and I was like, oh, this looks pretty good. It's not too expensive. Sure, why not? Grabbed it, started playing it a little bit, and I was like, yeah, I could do an LP of this. So that was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed that. I'll definitely keep an eye out for more of that. It was a nice mix of puzzles that weren't too difficult and good humor. The good humor being the most important thing, I think. Made for a lot of fun. Dooley was just a great character. That's just what it really boils down to. Dooley was a great character. We've also got Vandal Hearts going on, Patreon reward for Asher, who, of course, plays in the Spelljammer campaign on Saturdays. Been enjoying that. Probably going to be wrapping up this month. We're on Chapter 5 now, and there's only 6 chapters, so, depending on whether they make a lot of the later battles take a really long time or not is kind of going to determine when exactly that wraps up. But I think it'll be wrapping up, probably by the end of the month. Stellaris, the Agrarian Idyll campaign, that I've finished recording on, so it'll be wrapping up this weekend. And I'm planning to start a Crusader Kings 2 series after that. We'll see what I get recorded. I've been meaning to start it for a little while, so, this wrapping up is a good kick in the pants to get it going. I haven't started posting the Monday streams of Mass Effect 2 yet, but I will be. I will be doing so at some point. Don't know when yet. The original Mass Effect didn't do all that well in terms of views on the channel, so it's just kind of going to be gravy on top of everything else. I'm not expecting Mass Effect 2 episodes to really get a whole lot in terms of views, but I will definitely be moving it over here for those who can't catch the streams, just at some point. I've got a lot of I've already broken it down into episodes, so it'll be it'll be another lengthy one. Let's see. And of course, there's also the Spelljammer campaign on Saturday. Please do let me know, if there's anything that would make the viewing experience better for you guys. Always, drop me a comment and say things that I could improve that would help you guys out in that respect. If I can do things that help the viewing experience that don't impact gameplay, I'm all for it. So, if you got any ideas, feel free to toss them my way. One thing that I'm kind of considering is that, depending on how it breaks down right now, the party is on their 3rd or 4th adventure, and I'm kind of thinking of like renaming the videos and changing the thumbnail around to reflect that there are breakpoints where you can jump in later and you're to a certain extent it doesn't really matter what happened before. So it might help people coming into it later than late to the campaign, so to speak. If you think that would help, feel free to let me know. Like if you've recent viewer to the channel or something like that, and you saw that and you're interested, but you're like, oh, there's so much there, I don't want to watch it all. Let me know if that would help you get into it, kind of thing. We are pretty close to wrapping up the current adventure and going to be moving on to another one. And I say adventure not to mean like a whole campaign arc. As a second edition player, I'm very much the type of dungeon master that you do small quests. They may connect into larger things, but they may not. They may be completely isolated. You wrap something up, it's entirely done, and you move on to something completely different. So it's not like the impression that I get these days for a lot of D&D gaming is that the intention is that you start out at a low level and you have the same basic campaign story arc going from low level all the way up to high level, and then you're done. And that's not really how I play. So if that would help you guys get into it, those who haven't been watching it, let me know. I'm all for trying to make the viewing experience better for you, the viewers. That's mostly it on the video front. Of course, those who are new to the channel, over on my blog, I've got it's a little bit out of date. I need to update it a bit. But this is a good place if you just want to see what I've done. You can see that I've done all these Ultima games, I've done all the Eye of the Beholder games, all these Quest for Glory games, all these King's Quest games, that sort of thing. So you can pop over here and actually just look through this and easily get to my LPs. And, this is a good way because, over on... That's videos. All right, yeah. So over on the playlist side, it's kind of a mess. I can't sort these. I wish I could sort them like alphabetically or something like that, but you can't. That's under the created playlists. There are also groups. Console RPGs, adventure games, Gold Box and other AD&D games, Ultimate and other PC RPGs, strategy games, which are also reflected down here on the bottom of the front page. And those will give you smaller groups to look through, especially if there's certain types of games that you enjoy more than others. And these are assorted. But still, like console RPGs, there's a lot of them. So, yeah. So that's, multiple ways that I try to make it so that you can find series, because... probably at least a few times per month, someone will make a comment like, oh, you should play this game, or, and I have already played it, or, oh my god, I didn't know you'd played that game, I'm going to go look for it right now, or something like that. So, definitely, try to use these tools. YouTube isn't all that good at giving me tools to make it easy for you guys to find these things, unfortunately, but I try to... come up with some ways that are, give you some other ways to get to these games. I do want to go back through and put different thumbnails on a lot of these so that they are essentially uniform, and you can see just from the picture there what it is rather than having to read it. But, yeah. So that's kind of a long undertaking, especially when you're talking about 109 videos that I have to do individually for Suikoden 3, 74 for Suikoden Tactics. It's a it's a long process. But anyway, that's that stuff. Of course, over on my blog, it is a new month, so I have a new deity, Parrafaire the Naga Prince. Um, it was an interesting and probably one of the kind of want to say more difficult ones to come up with because he's very non-standard. You know, like you got deities of war or deities of magic. You know, there's kind of standard things that you can give them ability-wise and you know, dogma-wise and stuff like that. You know, try to throw in some twists to make them all just not samey. But um, he he was one of the more interesting ones, and I kind of say difficult ones to come up with in that regard. But check it out, read it over, let me know what you think. And lastly, of course, if you've been enjoying the videos and you want to, you know, support me directly, you can do so on Patreon. There's a bunch of rewards. I want to get more interactive, I guess, with the people who support me on Patreon. It's just haven't really come up with a good way of doing so, I guess. Something that feels right to me, that doesn't feel redundant. I mean, like, I could post when I start a new series, but that's all on YouTube anyway, so I'm not sure if that's worthwhile. Is that redundant? I don't know. Feel free to you know, send me some ideas if you're supporting other people, especially other people on YouTube, and they are interacting, and you're like, yeah, this is a pretty good way you could do this too. I would like that. There's also the Discord channel. Right now, being a Patreon patron and connecting your Patreon account with Discord only gets you a gold name on the Discord channel. It's not big enough yet to have anything else, but eventually there will be patron perks on the Discord server. So, you know, that's one thing to keep in mind. I do want to thank everyone who has been supporting me through it. It's wonderful, and with YouTube ad revenue slacking off, they made some changes a few months ago, and it kind of like really dropped the overall amount. Even while views are going up, YouTube payouts are going down, so it really does help significantly. It is really great when people support content creators this way. It's you know, you can show directly what kind of support you want to give and, you know, what it's worth and stuff like that, and help out above and beyond what, you know, just ad watching and stuff like that does. And of course, if you block ads, it's a way to say, I want to support you. I'm blocking ads because ads suck, but what you're doing has been really enjoyable for me, and this is, you know, my way of saying thanks. So I really appreciate everyone who supports me that way. There is another way to support over on Twitch. If you have an Amazon Prime account, which I think is like US and Canada only right now, maybe a couple countries in Europe or Australia or something like that. I'm not sure. But once per month you can subscribe to a channel on Twitch once you connect up your Amazon Prime account with Twitch, because Amazon owns Twitch now. And you can subscribe to a channel for free. Doesn't cost you anything extra, and the channel gets a bit of a payout. So that's another way. If you have an Amazon Prime account and you're not supporting anyone else on Twitch, I would be very much appreciative if you know, you decided to support me that way. You can also subscribe, you know, outside of the Amazon Prime, Twitch Prime system, but I only get a 50-50 payout. So if you subscribe for $5, I only get $2.50. So if you're gonna, if you think I'm worth $5, Patreon's a much better way because I get more like 90% of that. So Patreon's really good. They take a very low amount off for the service, and it's a good service, the service that they provide. So if you want to support directly, Patreon is a preferred way, and Twitch Prime is a way that you can do so without actually doing anything more than clicking a button. Those who are supporting me on one or the other, very much appreciate it. It really, really keeps me going to know that people are enjoying, my Let's Plays so much that they want to support me. It really means a lot. And, again, it's a way to get a game that I have not played yet onto the channel that you want to see me play. So I want to, once again, to thank all the supporters on Patreon, all the supporters on Twitch, and please do check out the streams. Just as a last reminder, the stream on the 2nd, the Spelljammer campaign, is canceled. 2 people are going to be away, so sorry, we'll be picking back up on the 9th. Also, one last thing. Still a number of months away, but in January I will be out of the country for most of the month. I'll be visiting Egypt and Jordan. And if anyone has visited either of those areas and are like, dude, you should really go to this place, let me know, because still in the planning stages, haven't locked down everywhere that we're going to visit. Obviously, places like Petra in Jordan and Giza in Egypt, those are guaranteed places. But if especially if there's like something that you think is a little bit less well known, yeah, chuck it my way. I'll take a look to see if I can fit it in. See if it's up my alley. I definitely appreciate kind of a personal touch of hey, I visited this. It was really cool. I think you'd like it too, kind of thing. So. I want to thank everyone for their, views, their likes, comments, and their support in all other manners. Check out the Discord channel, and I'll see you in the future Let's Play videos. Thanks again, everyone.